Let's start. So, let's start with a question. This is a question for you guys. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between the intelligence versus learning? We have artificial intelligence, for example, versus machine learning. So, intelligence and learning is actually used a lot. And if we really think about the meaning, this artificial and machine thing is actually synonym. It means the same thing. Okay. So we have basically intelligence versus learning. So this is an open-ended question. Any opinions?
So some of the algorithms that we run, especially say reinforcement learning right now, your agent's learning to do a task, but he's not actually understanding, say, the environment and what that task means. So say, for example, in say in NLP, right? You learn to predict the next word, but it doesn't really understand what those words mean.
Learns to predict next word, but does not understand what words means. So you are claiming that this NLP algorithm has a learning component but does not have intelligence. That is the false version. Any other opinion?
I agree with false opinion.
Any other view?
So, in intelligence, I mean, there is some knowledge that is built in. You cannot learn from environment or in data. It's built in that you can apply to any environment. And built-in knowledge, and which you can implement, which you can apply. This is called intelligence. Learning is basically done from the environment.
Learn from environment?
Yeah.
So, can you give me a concrete example?
Like say in push block, so given the environment when as it reaches goal, it gets some reward. So then it learns that I have to always reach the goal. I have to push the block into the goal. And intelligence could be like say what are the essential components in the environment that I can figure out. If there is initially a block, then then it can automatically detect, maybe I have to do something with the block. So it will try to do something with that block. Maybe this kind of thing.
I don't understand. I do not understand what you mean. Can you give me more concrete example?
Like say in your environment, if I see mostly a closed area, and I have only block, and in the environment there is basically two parts. One is the target zone and other is the empty parts. So if I have knowledge, then I will have idea that maybe I have to push the block on the gray side or on the black and white side, which is the target area. So if I have knowledge, I will try to figure the environment into different parts. Like say the push is one component, I have to figure it out how to do action on that. If I have target area, I have to figure it out how to do with that area. So if I have knowledge, I'll try to divide the environment into different components, different similar components. Like say, if I don't have any brain or intelligence, I'm just moving around, and which is basically a repetitive action. So if I have knowledge, I'll try to find. I cannot do the same action again and again, and so intelligence.
Knowledge is gained through learning.
Pardon me?
I think knowledge is gained through learning.
So Ruben,
He was saying that if I have knowledge, then I would not be knocking here and there. But I
So-
think knowledge is actually experience.
gained from
From learning.
learning.
Yeah.
What is this?
So, I mean, he was saying that knowledge, I think he said it's built in. But in my opinion, knowledge is what I am experiencing over the time, and I am gaining knowledge.
My question is, what is intelligence? What is the difference between intelligence versus learning? So when you guys answer, try to make a sentence like this. Intelligence is something, learning is something. Okay? So Shadek, try to make your sentence, reorganize your sentence. Aishwarya, do you have an idea?
I feel intelligence is to do with the ability, and learning is what you can grab from the environment with those abilities, what you can learn from the environment with those abilities. Like
Learning is, can you say again? Learning is
what you can learn with those abilities, what you
What
can understand the
you
environment.
can learn from
With those abilities.
with those abilities. Intelligence is ability. Learning is what you can learn with those ability. This is a good format, so please make it easier for me to write this way. Sanas, do you have an idea?
Intelligence is the ability to learn new things.
Is the ability to learn new things.
And also associate. So intelligence would be like a overarching process. So learning is the process of just understanding a way a particular task is performed in an environment.
Pardon me, so I have to write down. So
Okay, learning is the way learning is
It's the process.
process of performing a task in a given environment.
process of performing tasks
In a given environment.
in a given environment. So what is the difference between the intelligence and learning?
So learning is like a sub-process of intelligence. So
Learning is a sub-process of intelligence. Okay, that I like that. Intelligence is sub-process of learning. Okay. Intelligence is sub-process of learning. Right?
I think
no,
it's
learning is
opposite.
the sub-process of intelligence.
Learning is sub-process of the intelligence. Okay?
So if something can learn something, that doesn't mean it's necessarily intelligent. But
Mm-hmm.
intelligence is the ability to learn multiple things
Mm-hmm.
and have an association of both.
Oh, I like that part. But real see. So, can you say again? If something can learn.
If something can learn, it's not intelligent.
If
Not
something can learn,
It's not necessarily intelligent.
is not necessarily intelligence.
As intelligence is ability to learn multiple things
Mhm.
and be able to associate between these things.
Because intelligence is the ability to run multiple things. Okay?
And I think you can learn something by the repetitive process.
Mm-hmm.
But you should have intelligence to learn something different.
Mm-hmm. So, Sanjay, can you say again?
So learning
Mhm.
can be done with the repetition of the same thing.
Can be done with repetition of
Yeah.
the same thing, and
But it's kind of enough. But if you want to learn different things, you need to be intelligent.
so if you want to learn different things,
Mhm.
multiple things, you should be intelligent. So multiple things. Learning is intelligence. Right? Okay. So Shadek, do you want?
Intelligence is something that requires little to no experience, but for learning,
So intelligence does not require
require experience.
experience.
And for learning, it always requires experience.
Okay, learning from the experience. Okay, can you give me a concrete example?
No. Let's say when I'm driving,
Mm-hmm.
I see someone in front of me. My instinct always to stop. So it doesn't require a experience of accident. So, but if I require experience of accidents, like say if accidents happens, many other things happen, then I learn. Oh, I have to stop.
Hmm.
Or I think
Can I add
this
something?
better example would be if you are driving a bike, a geared bike,
Mm-hmm.
your natural instinct to slow down suddenly would be to
Mm-hmm.
hit the brakes
Mm-hmm.
because you haven't learned, but you know that brakes mean stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you've not learned how to stop suddenly in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are a professional rider,
Mhm.
you will do engine braking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have learned that.
Sanjay?
So I want to express in terms of baby, like there is this concept called mirror reflection where, if baby sees someone laughing, they kind of smile, but if somebody is crying, right? So there is already an inbuilt intelligence within ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if a baby wants to learn something, like let's say to dance or something, right? They have intelligence and there should be a repetition.
Okay, so I think this discussion is very interesting. However, there is one limitation. You guys have a tendency to think in terms of human. Okay? you are human, so it's easy for us to think in terms of the human. We should go beyond eye of the human to understand the intelligence. If you are, say, fish, it's very difficult to appreciate the water, right? Once you become a human, you can understand the water. It's the same for us, air. It's very difficult for us to appreciate air. We have to be fish to appreciate the air, right? So I have a very interesting ideas from the discussion, but let's develop this a little further. Let's think in terms of the bee versus human. Okay, so let's start with the bee. Can we say bee is intelligent or not? How many think we can think bee is intelligent? Ruben, you don't think bee is intelligent?
I'm not sure about its behavior totally actually.
Pardon me?
I'm not sure about its all the behaviors, so I don't know if it is intelligent or not.
He's saying he's not familiar with the behavior of the bees, so he doesn't have enough information.
How about if you are bee interested? How about fish?
Yeah, I read somewhere that fishes are not that much intelligent actually. They have that is also. But they don't learn new things or something like that.
Okay, so you think fish is not intelligent because it is not learning new things. Okay? Shadek, how about you?
Yeah, I think bee is intelligent because the kind of action that bee is performs over his lifetime, it requires some intelligent knowledge.
Yeah, so it really depends on the definition of what is the intelligence, and things like intelligence is notoriously difficult to define. If I ask you what is human, oh my God, there is a lot of definition. So, however, if we define intelligent behavior as a reasonable, so given a stimulus or environment, you act reasonably well. So we can say this is intelligent. If you behave stupidly, let's say you met a tiger. If you come to the tiger, is this intelligent behavior? No, right? If you run away from the tiger, that is intelligent behavior. So, in terms of the bee's eye, yes, bee was born. It go around. It doesn't have a food, so it has to find the honey. So it tries to find the honey, and once it finds it, bring others to get the honey. Those are actually very smart or intelligent behavior, right? So, according to this definition, so given a stimulus or environment showing reasonable behavior with intelligence, then we can say B is intelligent. However, can we say B is learning new skills?
You also use a very specific set of skills.
Is it B learning new skills? No.
I'm just wrestling with this idea. That I think every species is intelligent according to what I know for now.
Mhm.
I think the ability to use your capabilities is intelligence.
Mhm.
And how you use it or how you improve on that is what is your learning, right?
Mhm.
So intelligence I don't think can be so narrowed down and said, if you behave in this particular way, you are intelligent. That I think is completely different from, that's the reason we have something called human intelligence and animal intelligence, and that's the reason we are dividing it, right?
So, Aishwarya, I didn't understand your point. Can you?
I'm saying I think every species is intelligent
Every species is intelligent.
because they have different capabilities and they're using those capabilities for their survival.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot say that just because one dog behaves stupidly, it is stupid and clever, but it's not to do with intelligence. The whole species of dogs is equipped with certain intelligence.
Yes. So let's say if the dog behaves stupidly, we cannot say the dog is stupid. That is your point, because the dog has already very well working intelligence.
No, we can say the dog is stupid,
Mhm.
but it has the intelligence to learn.
Okay. So I think if we compare bee versus human, if we want to put that dog, is the dog's intelligence close to the bee or close to the human?
It depends on the environment we're testing it on, because
Pardon me?
I think it depends on the environment. Suppose I'm just like turning it around a bit. Suppose we put humans in water and compare our intelligence with fish.
Mm-hmm.
How do you compare the intelligences there? I
So
mean, we're not
you
as
want?
equipped.
So Aishwarya, is there anybody who can rephrase Aishwarya's question? I didn't get her idea, her question.
So what she's trying to think is correct me if I'm wrong, but like fish has the natural ability to survive in water, right? But not humans. So if we are judging humans in terms from the fish perspective, we may be stupid, we may not lack the intelligence.
So you cannot say human has a higher intelligence than the fish. Is that what you say?
Yes, given different environments.
Given different environment. Yeah. I didn't say anything about the human is more intelligent than bee or something like that, because they have a relatively well working intelligence of their own. So it's a very according to Aishwarya, and I agree that it's not politically correct if we say fish is stupid. Okay? Because fish has a very well working intelligence for their environment. Okay? So I think that is okay. I agree that sentence. But I don't think this argument has anything to do with that sentence, that segment. I'm not saying human has more intelligence than the bee or anything like that. Okay?
We're just debating on whether it has intelligence or not.
Yeah, I'm asking bee has intelligence. My question was, does bee have intelligence? Next question was, does it learn? Those two questions. Okay? Okay, so we had a poll of does B has the intelligence. Everyone except Ruben said B has the intelligence. And now let's do a quick poll. Does B learn new thing?
It learns new routes to food.
New routes.
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 To recognize new kinds of flowers in the area.
Is it a skill or
It's not a skill. It's just like it's one skill, finding new routes.
is it skill or the output? So yeah, it's the output. You have a hard encoded rule. Fly in this pattern, and if you find it, show it to other bees using this pattern. So it's already there. Okay? So who think bee does not learn anything? 2, 3, 4. Who thinks bee learns new things? Sanjay, why do you think so?
Don't you like if the let's say if a bee realizes that there is not enough nectar in one flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
It should have the ability to recognize, okay, I need to move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think that is kind of an intelligence way?
That is the intelligence.
But it already has.
It,
They will naturally look for different flowers. It's not learning something new by looking for new flowers.
So are we just trying to say that it is just being ruled by their inbuilt rules only?
Yeah, like the bee is not going to learn to like perform in a circus or something. Like it can only do what it's programmed to do.
Here I have a doubt. Like if I take another example, I read somewhere that crows at one signal, they were learning that
Pardon me?
crows, the birds,
crows. Okay, yeah.
at a signal, a traffic signal,
Mm-hmm.
they were learning that at certain times the traffic stops, and that's when they're crossing the road. There's some more examples of that. So does that mean that the crow is learning a new skill, or is that an output of what it already knows? Because how are we
that's
defining the new skill?
That's a good question, right? So crows are learning to cross the traffic signal. I have a question. By the way, crows do they just fly over
The walking ones.
walking ones? Okay. So the crows
Because they are looking
learn
for
to
food.
look at the traffic signal to cross the.
I remember crows, but I think why they're not flying is because of the food they find on the road. That's why they.
Yeah, let's say hypothetical. It does not have to be true. A crow see the traffic signal and learns to cross the road. Okay, is that learning new skill or is it just a previous rule?
It's previous rule, but in a new way. Like
No.
obstacle.
What do you mean by the previous rule and the new way?
So while flying, it will have a bunch of rules to avoid obstacles. Like, you see the clear, you can distinguish between paths that are not clear and paths that are clear.
No, but here it's learning the time, right?
So-
Or we can take a different example. I mean, animals jumping through hoops on the circuses. Do we say it's learning a new skill, or it's just doing the same jumping? I mean, it's already equipped to do the jumping. So, is
So-
it jumping through a hoop a new skill?
Hoops, jumping to the hoops. So, who thinks this is a new skill or
It's just an output.
just an old rule expressed in the hoop?
They can adapt to the new environment. There is this learning process as well.
Pardon me?
If they are trying to adapt in new environment, right? There is this learning process as well.
No, but the animals can already jump. They are just learning one specific task of jumping through that hoop.
But they are learning to read the signs from the instructor.
Actually, in case of humans, we can jump, but can we always go through that loop? I mean,
Yeah, we
there has
need to
be some
practice,
timing
even they
calculation,
animals
yeah.
practice.
So, to quickly summarize, who thinks this animal in the circus jumping over the hoops is learning new skill? Paul? Who? Okay, who does not think this animal is learning new skill? He is just doing old way. Okay, Sanas? Alright, let me give you one way of looking at this. So if we have a B and move to another area, he will follow his program, right? But let's say there is a crow who have never seen the traffic signal and show it to the traffic signal. Do you think this crow will do the same behavior immediately? Maybe after trial and error, right? So, and if you have a tiger, and when you see a tiger in the jungle, try showing a hoop. Will the tiger jump through the hoop? No, right? So the born tiger, the tiger as it is, does not have any program to jump over the hoops. It learns to associate. Association is actually very important concept. New association to go over the hoop. So let me really give you a very concrete example, which I hope will make this clarification between learning and intelligence. Let's say you are a mouse, right? So as a mouse, it is very natural. If you see food, you approach it, right? If you see cat, you run away from it. Okay, this is built-in, right? But let's say if you hear a bell sound, what will you do? You just heard a bell that you never heard. What will you do? Right? This is a hard-coded rule, which is a very intelligent rule itself.
Can baby mouses, mice also run away from cats?
Yeah.
Let's say, actually, when the mouse sees the cat, he just freezes, or all kind of poor things happen. This is somehow very bad example. What will away from it?
To fear the cat.
Yeah, and it's
built-in.
fear. Okay, fear is and is right. Okay. So when it hears the bell sound, it does not have any program to deal with this bell sound. Okay. Now let's think about doing an experiment. You have a 2 cage with a mouse, and at each cage you ring the bell, and for this mouse you give him a food. For this mouse you give him an electric shock. Okay? Then after you do 10 times, when this mouse hears this ring sound, it will think about the food. When this mouse hears the bell sound, it will show fear response. Okay? So this mouse learn to associate different responses to the same stimulus. So associated. That is difference between the intelligence and learning. Okay, so Shadek has a very similar idea, the built-in thing. He tried to find the example from the human, but it was difficult because human has the intelligence and the learning everything, so it's difficult to find the example. But if he tried to find the example from the something that does not have a learning capability, then it has a built-in rule or knowledge. Learning is acquiring those knowledge from the environment. Okay, so if you really think about it, learning is a very expensive way to get new rule, and most of the animals cannot afford it. The example is, if you are a mouse, you cannot experiment with a cat. If you are a bee, you cannot experiment with the nectar. Okay, so we can simply speaking, we cannot learn from the many of us. Most of the animals cannot use the learning as a intelligence, a way of getting new rules. Let's say intelligence is the rule, intelligent rule, and we cannot use most of animals cannot use the learning to get new rules. Let's think about for example, things like car racing game or Doom example. They can die as they wish. Many agents will die immediately. Okay, but as your life form, you cannot afford to die because you basically explode the many possible events. When you see a cat, there can be many possible events. You can appetite, you can feed, you can pet as a mouse, you can go close. There are many ways of reaction, and only one is for your survival, and the rest is the death. Okay, so you cannot afford experimenting. And if you think about it, what is said about this experimentation is that, let's say you are a mouse, okay, and you met a cat, and you say, when I met a cat, I came close to it and I died. So my fellow mouse, when you see a cat, please do not go close to it. The mouse cannot do it. Okay, so his failure does not have any way to leave a trace, increase the possibility that the mouse as a species can keep the gene. It does not help other mouse survive if you fail. Okay, so that's how you because why you cannot learn like a reinforcement learning for most of the animals.
But I have a counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
What if like another mouse sees cat attacking the mouse? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
it, from the observation, doesn't it learn it that way? I mean, we learn that way, right?
Yeah, so I would like to say, if you think about it seriously, I would like to claim rather inefficient way to learn. Okay? What are chances when you see your fellow mouse getting eaten by the cat? Because this mouse chose this. Let's say there is a 1,000 different way of reaction, and a mouse chose the one way, and he was eaten by the cat. And there is only one way out of this 1,000 way for survival, which is running away. So if you are a cat or your fellow mouse, you have to watch 1999 your friend is eaten by the eaten by the cat, before you learn, oh, the best way is run away. Okay? And this lucky mouse has seen 999 fellow mouse eaten by cat and learned that the best way is running away. But his knowledge does not transfer to other mouse. Okay? So this genius or very wise old mouse doesn't have a way to transfer his knowledge. Okay. So that is why most animals choose to use a hard code rule, hard rule. It's like if you see a furry thing, run away. Okay, hard rules is because this is more efficient than doing learning thing, because learning is very expensive thing to do. So if you think about the older evolution of the all the living things, all the animals in history, there are lots of things, right? And because this learning is not good way, it bee or other thing does not use it, but at some point animals begins to use it, right? Dogs, crows, even mouse learns, and human. So there must be some point when this intelligence thing first appeared, right? So let's say if we want to study intelligence, we study humans to learn to get the idea, to build how to build intelligence, and look at the human brain. Okay? I claim that this is a very stupid way of studying intelligence. Let me give you my argument. Let's say if we want to build cars, and modern luxury cars have a very complex system, like adaptive cruise. What do you know adaptive cruise? It has a camera or sensors, and it automatically maintains the distance between the cars, ABS, hybrid system, all-wheel drive, GPS navigation, sound system, memory seat, AC and heater, and everything. So, do you know how many embedded CPUs or microcontrollers a modern car have? Can anybody guess how many CPUs? Four?
Four.
Four?
Four.
Four?
Just for the navigation.
Any other guys? Any other suggestion?
100.
100? Okay. Economic cars have about 50. Luxury cars have about 100. 100 CPUs in the car. So let's say if you somehow get this car 100 years ago, and you want to build a car from studying this, but you have no idea what CPUs are, okay? Because you don't know CPUs and memories and things like that, and you got this car. And it is very difficult to make sense of all these complex systems, okay? So the main argument here is there is a minimum patch to implement function. What will be the minimum patch to implement function for cars?
Like the names of the parts.
Pardon me?
Like, are you asking about the names of the parts?
Yes.
Like the engine?
Pardon me? Engine.
Right, wheel, steering wheel,
Yeah.
brakes, like that.
So can anybody imagine what will be the first car?
Just a box with wheels maybe?
Box with wheels. What we need? A way to rotate the wheel without human input, right? What is the first way of first invention for moving something without human input?
Steam.
Steam engine. So So this was the first car, 1970. No. 17 something. 17 something hundred. This is the steam engine. This is the first car accident. So they had somehow ways to rotate the wheel, and the steam engine moves the this car. So the main argument here is if we think about human intelligence system, so even for human looking for the eraser and grabbing requires interaction between these components. Okay, let's see. Activation of the search, so recognition criteria, visual location, visual input, and you get the target location and fast face movement, slow face movement. So when you grab the eraser, you have a fast and slow face movement. You recognize size to adjust the hand shape, and orientation recognition to rotate the hand. And all of these components are interacting closely to control this looking at the eraser and grabbing. Okay, so it's a very difficult to reverse engineering this kind of complex system. So the main idea here is, okay, let's forget about the human brain because this is too complex. This is like a modern car. And let's try to find the simplest mechanism, minimum path to implement function. Function here is moving without manual human input. Function we want to implement here is learning. So minimum path to implement learning. We need to go back from the human to our ancestors. So I think the time is already 8 minutes past, so I'll stop here. We will continue next week, but here is a teaser. We will probably go somewhere where mammals and reptiles, like a lizard, branched. So common ancestor of mammals and reptiles, and see what was the form of the ancient learning machine, and see what we can learn from them. Okay? So, any questions before we finish? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.